Okay. Alright, so there's a lot going on and it's happening very fast, so I need to start explaining some stuff to you guys. I bought this car thinking it was a good, decent condition car. Unfortunately, when I got it home, I found a lot of issues. So we shifted plans. This car has become a full build in the last 4 months with the intention of having it done for a big car show on June 8th. Well, not done, but running and driving.
Still got a bit of a
After the show, I plan on getting this car to sit as low as I can with a set of custom wheels, but for now, we have a lot of work to do just to make this show. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the shop. My name is Mike Deschamps, and yeah, we're working on the 1974 Volkswagen Beetle, and a lot is happening very quick. We kind of rushed into a work day yesterday here, and we didn't film a lot. Sorry. All we did was strip the parts that we wanted for powder, and I'm going to run through all that with you guys anyways. But we stripped everything, got it ready, what we want to send to powder, and what we're going to paint here at home before we reassemble the pan. And while all that's going on, we're going to continue working on the body, getting the body all straightened out and ready for primer, hopefully in the next week. So a lot's happening very, very quickly here, and it's hard to stay on top of it. Order parts, make these lists, and all that stuff, plus edit, film, all that stuff too. So yeah, I'm trying. It'd be a lot more rewarding if this channel was, you know, doing a little better, but one day at a time, folks, one day at a time. So basically, yeah, we've stripped all the bearings, bushings, the grease off of all these items, and we're getting ready for powder. I've been in contact with the guy that is doing my powder. He's a good friend of ours, actually. I've been in contact with him all morning, and I'm not quite sure the color. I was gonna let you guys pick the color. I kind of want it to be something wild because it's gonna stand out on this pan. The pan's black, the car's gonna stay blue. So I'm thinking, you know, like white or teal or something a little bit more standoutish, but he's going to show me a bunch of colors there today and run through it with me to try and pick the wildest color we can here for the right price point. Yeah, we don't need anything too crazy, like some chameleon weird looking thing, but I still want to make it stand out and I want to make it look cool. So yeah, he's going to run through colors with me shortly. I'm just going to show you guys all the parts before I load them up in the car. And then I gotta head over to Port Hope where I'm dropping them all off and picking the color. Let's get into what is going to powder and what's getting painted. And there's reasons for it because the powder is more expensive, but it does last longer. The paint is more convenient for me to do at home and cheaper for me to buy. So I can essentially sandblast stuff, bring it back here, paint it, just spray it. So I've chose to do a lot of little parts and stuff with the paint for now, but I will go back and probably do powder in the future. It's just powder's expensive, so I've been picking and choosing what goes to powder right now because we've already spent enough out of pocket for this thing, so we got to try and keep it, you know. And then another $1,000 order we just made on CIP1, which we're waiting on, which is like all the bushings, the bearings, all the little stuff for the pan. You know, the missing nuts and bolts, all that random stuff. So hopefully I didn't miss anything because by the time that order gets here, I won't have a lot of time to correct it and I won't have any more time to make another order. So if I did miss something, hopefully one of my Volkswagen buddies has one of whatever I missed. But I really tried. Me and Dad went through like everything yesterday, top to bottom. While we were separating all this, we were listing, you know, we made 3 different lists, one on the fridge, I got one in a book, and then I've got one on my phone, plus I've already made an order on CIP1. Well, at that time, I had an order prepped with like 19 items in my cart. This stuff gets costly, but I don't want to reuse a lot of the stuff that I took off this because it's old and deteriorating and the pan looks so good now, so powder it, new. But let's get into what's going to powder and what's getting painted. So I've laid everything out on the carpet here, and I've got it all set up. Obviously, the shocks and stuff, like the tie rod ends are all garbage. I've ordered new ones. These are going to powder.
these guys. Just the ends will get done, and the I don't know what all these individual parts are called, but I'm learning. The spring plate, torsion plate, I think. Anyways, these are trailing arms or control arms for the rear, backing plates, rear drums. That's a tranny. Nope, sorry, that is a Bowden tube mount. The parking brake handle, because that sits on the tunnel, so why not do it? Front control arms, springs, sway bar, tie rod bars, and some steering components. I'm not going to keep the spring set up for long. I would love to switch this to full coilover, but I haven't really had the time to search that up, and it's not really an easy kit to find for this car, so I might have to do like a special kit for it, or a custom kit with certain coilovers to make it set the way I want. This is all the stuff that's getting painted, minus the trans mount right there. I think we're going back to an old style trans mount, which is just the lower, not strapped above. The trans is getting painted whatever color the powder's going. Then these will get painted another color to offset that. It's going to be fun. So if I do a special crazy color with this, I'll do white with this to try and... But the front rotors... Oh, Shep having a nap. The front rotors are not going to get too crazy. Maybe, you know, a little bit done. I'll try and do something with them. Calipers are going probably... I don't know. I might match them to everything else here, but all these little parts are kind of going to go white and black. Trans is going whatever crazy color this all goes. And we're not using these for long. We're going to get coilovers, but that's how it's going to sit for now.
So with all that being said, yesterday we took all the time to prep all this and get it all ready. It was a lot of work, but it wasn't really that bad. The car is essentially a go-kart, but then it has all the special VW German parts that kind of throw a loop in everything. So it's not as easy as just a go-kart, but if you think of it as a go-kart and just itemize it as a go-kart, it's not that bad. I do have another table here at the back. I've also made this table up. I kept the brakes together because they're brand new brakes, brand new wheel cylinders. Just going to clean everything up. The rear bearings were great. I need new axle seals, but the rear bearings were great. All the bushings were essentially great, but they kind of look worn. Yeah, everything's pretty great. This is all my nuts and bolts, all itemized, but the tumbler is on top right now, so not gonna bother showing you that. Yeah, everything's been cleaned up in here, and we've tried to organize it and get everything kind of in order, because there's a lot of parts to this car. It's not just a basic, no, it is pretty basic, but it's not just a go-kart. This has to go on the road. There's a lot to do with the wiring, a lot to do with this thing's got to run right and work correctly. So yeah, just a lot of little pieces. If you've ever done one, you know it normally takes quite a while to get this all completed, but with us doing it in like a 4 or 5 month window, it's pretty tight and it's pretty chaotic. But yesterday we got a pretty good handle on things, and we seem to have organized everything. I think we have everything ordered. I hope we have everything ordered, but if not, then might have to ask for some favors. Anyways, today everything is going to powder, and then the moment everything's at powder, so today hopefully, I'm going to start prepping everything else for paint and grinding the body, continuing to grind on the body, because that needs to get done now. So yeah, time to load everything up in the car, I guess, and head on down to Port Hope. I'm not going to bring you guys with me because the level of respect for the guy doing the powder is way up there for me, so I'm gonna be good about it. But if in the future he allows me to bring the camera, then I definitely will, and I'll show you guys a little bit more of this process. But I will explain it when I get home, and I'll show you guys. I'll take pictures, whatever. I'll show you guys what color it's gonna go, give you a bit of a teaser, and get you excited for it. So time to load everything up in the car, and I guess I'll see you guys in a bit. But I won't have any parts with me, and you're not coming with me, so sorry. When I get back, we can chat about that giant order that I just put in and everything I had to order to make this all actually work in a couple weeks. So, all right, see you in a bit. That's it for parts for now, but I think what I'm gonna do is make an itemized list of everything I'm bringing there, just so nothing gets lost or misplaced. That way it's pretty obvious to everybody what's going, what needs to come back, because with the window here that I'm working with, I can't lose any parts. All right, good morning guys. I'm back in the shop. It's Saturday morning. It's May 12th? I'm not sure. I think it's May 12th. Nope, I'm ahead. Ooh, I'm ahead. It is May 11th, and I'm back in the shop today. Dad's on his way over. It's been a big week, and luckily enough, I was able to get the powder coating back pretty much instantly. Basically, I had to, I brought it down to my guys at the shop, and basically I brought it down Monday, and they were already done by Wednesday. So I was working, and I don't have my camera on me, so I'm just gonna use my phone to record a couple clips here. But I was working, and I just got a text from the powder guy, and he said he's done. 2 days. 2 days. I dropped them off on Monday, and it's now Wednesday, and he's already done. So I was like, you know what? Let's go pick it up, because I'm unsure about the color in the first place. I never really talked to you guys about the color yet, but yeah, I'm unsure about the color. This hood's bugging me. I'm unsure about the color in the first place. So when he texted me and said everything's done, I was like, yeah, I gotta go right now, go look at everything and pick it all up and see what we're working with. So I'm on my way right now to go pick it up, and I'll show you guys a little bit of picking it up and loading it up, but ultimately we're just going to talk about it when I get home. So yeah, excited. Oh my god, he was waiting at the door for me, so that's great. It's so much brighter than I thought. We never really talked about colors yet, so I'm excited to show you guys this color, because it's not something I would usually pick, and it's super bright compared to what I thought it would be. So there's 5 boxes in the trunk right now filled with parts. Oh my gosh, that's super exciting. I never thought it'd be that bright. So hard to pick colors, right? Like, I did white before on my truck build, and it felt like for years we were just doing white, constant white. And you know, even if the parts were already done, we would take them off and do them again each year, just because freshen them up. But with this, I was like, I want to go something totally out of the usual for me, strictly because the car is a YouTube car. It's like, let's make this thing stand out and make it noticeable. I understand that all the suspension parts are underneath the body, so you're not necessarily gonna see them, but it's what I wanted to do, number one. And number two, for those of you who watch it and appreciate it, you'll maybe think I did a good job. Or number three, for those people in person who see it and they're like, damn, nice job. But ultimately I do it for myself. I love making everything super clean. That's kind of what I'm known for sure. So the Beetle is no exception, that's for sure. It's a cool color. I'm excited. It's a random color for me. Random, super random. When I get home, we'll break right into it. But I gotta get some food or something. And I haven't even gone through the box. I wanted to wait, you know, until I had the time to do the camera thing and sit down and talk to you guys about all the parts. So I've looked at the color, obviously, but I haven't looked at all the individual parts. But seeing them has made me want to do a couple more. So I've also messaged them to do a couple more things before, hopefully before June 9th. So that's awesome. I'm gonna go through that box in a minute, but I also woke up to the order from CIP1 being here, which is amazing. So everything's here, but I can't start reassembling until I have the rest of the parts powdered from the pan, because I missed a couple pieces. So I want to get them done because they clash with the parts that I just had powdered. So yes, it's more money, a little bit more time spent. I don't necessarily get to put the pan together today, which is fine because I have a lot of body work to do anyways. Fixing the patches, doing the everything, kind of prepping for primer. Hopefully I can at least get it in a primer before we go. But biggest thing is get it back together, get it running. I have all the parts to do that, I think now. I have to go through the order from CIP1 and I have to go through the box from Powder to, number one, check it all out. And number two, check out the inventory list, make sure I have everything because there's so many items. It's just crazy. And behind me, sorry for the noise, behind me I've been tumbling bolts for the last like 48 hours, just tumbling every set of bolts I have to clean them up. I'm gonna spray all the heads, so all the heads on each bolt look really nice. So Dad's on his way over, but I figured I should sit here and go through that whole powder box with you, and then I'm gonna go through the CIP1 box. I'll bring it inside, go through it, the boxes, and yeah, this color's wild. I would have never guessed that I would have picked this color. This camera's getting really heavy. I would have never guessed that I would have picked this color. It's not really your average color for this, but I think the blue and this color go really nice together. Originally I had some teal in my mind, but teal, the guys at the powder shop recommended I don't do teal because of the age of the parts and it will show their age a little bit more. We'll see how this color did, but I think either way it's going to show its age. It's 50 years old. What can you really do? But they look way better. I mean, the couple parts that I've seen so far, just the edges and stuff, I haven't even unwrapped them. They're still just sitting in boxes. So yeah, and then I've prepped some other parts to go to him. I might actually break down the struts and give him the outer casing, but I have to see what all is included in that today. I'm going to talk to Dad about it. I forgot to do the crash can for the front of the pan, so I'm going to get that powdered so it stands out. The adapters, transmission, mount, the top of the struts, and then the top of there's two pieces on the top of the struts, like two spacers that sit on top of the spring, and I just had the spring done, so you can't have a rusty spacer up against a powdered spring. That doesn't make sense. So anyways, and I'm thinking of doing the front rotors, even though they have the wheel bearing built into them and it does make it a lot trickier. What I'm thinking of doing is having the whole rotor powdered, then I'm going to take it to a buddy and have him just machine the face down just a touch to get all the powder off. So the back wheel will be filled with like the drum is completely powdered, so the back wheel will have a giant whatever color, I'll show you in a second, but I didn't want to leave the front rusty looking because the front rotors are kind of rusty from sitting outside at the marina where I picked this car up. So I'm thinking to have the rotors done at the front and then yeah, machine them down a little bit. Obviously I'll strip the bearings out and everything before they go, but I think that's a good idea. It'll just look proportioned. And I've also looked into wheels this week because I need to order wheels by latest next week. So yeah, lots on the go. It's been a very busy week. I did take a couple shots from going down to pick up the powder and everything like that. I just used my phone because I didn't have my camera. Everything was rush. You know, he literally texted me and I left work and went and got them. So yeah, and I also didn't want to, like, you know, be all up in his face with the camera. Nobody really likes the camera, and I'm not big on YouTube, so I'm not going to walk in and say, hey, I have 1 million followers, let's show them everything. Yeah, maybe at that status, if you were to do that at that status, people would listen to you. But at my status, I'm just Joe Blow who's carrying a camera trying to document what I'm doing. I don't want to embarrass a bunch of people, so, and not to mention like some of the stuff they do, I'm sure is a bit of a secret. So anyways, let's go through the parts because I want to show you guys what color this is. It's a wild color. Last time I had everything powdered for my truck, I was doing it every year for my show truck, and basically I chose white. Now when I chose white, I wasn't sure about the color, so I was like on edge about the whole situation. And I liked it. It turned out it was like different than everybody else. Now when I went to get to drop everything off for powder this time, I kind of said the same thing to myself. This is a car for YouTube. I want it to stand out and be different. I don't want it to be like any other car that's on the road. And I'm somebody who likes everything meticulous and nice. So yeah, this is gonna look sweet. But it's definitely not a color I would have picked ever. I'm kind of glad it turned out like that. Anyways, let's check it out. Okay, so I got 3 boxes of stuff powdered plus the sway bar. Obviously you can see the sway bar, it's exposed. Well, maybe you guys can't, but I could. So I knew kind of what the color was. That's the color of the powder. There's no room in this garage. That's the color of the powder. It's definitely, I would say, a lot brighter in a powder, but control arms look wild. This is, I haven't even gone through it. I peeked, but I didn't actually check it all out. So let's take a control arm out. They're still wrapped in tape. I'm just gonna rip it. Man, they did a wicked job wrapping these. Every single time I get powder done, it's just awesome. Now these parts did have a lot of age on them. They're 50 years old. They sandblasted them. I believe they acid dipped them. And this, wow. That's my new rear trailing arm. That is wild. You can definitely see its age. The metal it's pitted, and you know, some of the welds aren't perfect, but that's got nothing to do with me. Some sand and rust from sandblasting. It's coming out at the end, ever so slightly. But that's the trailing arm. So I need a blanket. Pan looks pretty good, but I will say, because the guns we used, they're older, obviously. We didn't quite cover enough. Like there's spots where I don't feel the clear coat covered properly. My intentions are not to undercoat this or anything. It's a strictly summer car that will be parked inside. So I wanted the bottom to be nice and painted, but I also wanted the clear coat to be layered on. That way it is protected. So I think before I start reassembly, I'm gonna clear coat this one more time. I picked up another gun. Just gonna, a gravity feed one. Just gonna coat this again, I think, a couple times, heavy. Then I'm gonna switch around, start painting some parts. The transmission's going white. A lot of the other little pieces are gonna go white. That way this pan's gonna be black. I call it pink, but everybody else calls it purple. So black, pink, white, and stainless. Yeah, I ordered a lot of stuff for this. So everything will be new, all new bushing, stainless brake lines, powder coated everything, white painted everything else that I couldn't powder coat. But yeah, control arm. Yeah, see, that's gonna be super bright. That's gonna be super bright right behind the back wheel. So you're gonna see that through the back wheel. So I need to do something with the fronts. That's sweet though. Looks good. Obviously it's not perfect. These parts, this was already on the car. Like these were all on the car. And these are factory. These are not. Pardon my slippers, they're my shop slippers. Backing plates. They look way better. Obviously they're pitted, they're 50 years old. What are you gonna do? They are way better. That's sweet. Springs. That's why I want to finish the strut now, because I'm like, the spring looks so good. Might as well finish the strut. Maybe I'll do the rest of the strut casing in white. And then I've got the pink spring. White spacers. That'd be pretty cool. It's gonna be like a Jolly Rancher. I don't think there'll be another one around like it. That's why I like this. This is a front control arm. Again, 50 years old. Damn, looks pretty good. Oh, that's my parking brake lever. Oh, that's gonna look sweet. That's gonna look really good. I'm excited to see the black. Oh, yeah, that's gonna look really cool. And it goes good with the blue. It does, it does. Holy. All right, parking brake. This is my pitman arm. Oh, pitman arm looks brand new. Tie rod bars. Now, the tie rod bars will come out perfect. Yeah, they look awesome. So the tie rods are gonna, oh man, this is gonna look sweet. This is gonna pop for sure. Very excited for this. Wow, so reassembly starts next week, technically. Dad's here and he definitely drove his bug. Tune's cranked. Oh, camera's not set up to go outside. Oh, so I got a new dash too. I picked up a new dash, and there's the order from CIP1. And my e-brake cable, clutch cable, all that stuff sitting there. Shep's going nuts. There he is. He just had to drive it. At least it's running now. Wasn't running before. He was having some major carb issues. You rocking out? Is it running better?
No.
You just drove it.
Sit there.
When she gets home, honey, I've been thinking about this on and on. The devil trick, she sent a spawn to drag me to the depths where I belong. So lie me in flame, how does you need? Let me see the girl you wanted to be. All of my pain, only for me. I can be the one who can set you free. All from the grave.
And you have no like reserve power or anything? Huh. It sounds good. Yeah, and what do you have? Just two 6x9s and then 6-inch rounds in the door? Yeah, that's pretty.
And an 8-inch.
An 8-inch sub.
Yeah, no, it pounds all right. That's what I said to Dave. I was like, I want something, but I don't want anything crazy. I want it to sound good, clean, crisp, and hit nice. I said, like, if Sundown can do that, then...
Well, they can do it.
Then will you figure it out for me?
Boy, how's my buddy? How's my buddy?
I cleaned the calipers. I cleaned the master and a lot of the bolts. Look at these adjusters. Feel that?
Yep, that's
Feel that?
much better.
That's right. Part of me, if I had more time, I would powder these. And I haven't gone through everything from CIP yet, and I've been trying to clean up.
That's
obviously
great.
See, Kevin says it's purple, I say it's pink, and Georgia right away said purple.
Yeah, purple.
But it looks really good matched up against that pan. And in the background, the Marina blue, that's a factory color. Marina blue, I got the code for it this week. Performance said they can get it in like a day. It looks really good matched up against this. Like, look.
That looks just like the one in
Don't just like the one me. Don't just like this is
In Norwood.
unlike any other one, okay? Don't just the one me. That's what we're going for. Something Hitler never imagined. But I just wanted to go through. I haven't even looked at these till this morning. And I haven't gone through the CIP1 boxes. Yep, nothing. They just got here. We should do that, right, Shep? And I gotta put on some shoes. I think they look awesome. Way better than, like, look at the tie rod bars are perfect. The springs look great. Backing plates, yes, they show their age. The trailing arms show their age. The brake drums were used. Like, they're on the car already. And the torsion arms look fantastic. But I have a couple questions because that's my new batch for powder. I'm going to do the rotors. That's part of my question. Because just think about it, okay? Proportion yourself right now. You're going to see that giant purple thing through the back wheel. And then the front, you're going to see that thing. That rusty rotor over there. You're going to see this through the back wheel, and then you're going to see that through the front. You know, like, you got to proportion it. That's going to look silly. The front, or the outer bearing on the upper side, like the outside, falls out. But it's, I haven't breaking it right down yet. So that's, and then I also had a question about those struts. Listen to me.
Yeah. You can't because they're gas.
Okay, listen to me.
Okay.
I looked up how they work. Those are inserts that spin out. Those shocks. The actual cylinder sleeve, it's an insert that spins out. You can buy different inserts, different color ones. White ones, black ones, instead of the chrome. So can I spin that thing out and give him the casing? Just the way it is. Don't take that, don't adjust it, anything, because it's set at ride height right now. I don't need to take those plates off ever. If I go to anything else, it'll be the coilovers. So can I just spin those out? Because they spin out like where it's all masked off at the top there.
Yeah, it's a cartridge. I understand what you're saying.
I don't know how it works. I know how it gets put together, and you can buy inserts for them. So I figured, why can't you take it out? If you can put a new one in, why can't you take that one out?
Well, you can.
Can you put it back in afterwards?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that like a realistic idea, or am I just out to lunch? Because I would love to have those done white, and then the spring this color, and this thing be a flippin' Jolly Rancher rolling down the road. Most people won't see it, but I will. And then a white transmission. This is the part I like, putting it all together and making it look cool. I mean, I like it all, but it's also cool doing this. That's why it was fun with the truck. But like I said to Kevin, the white I chose for the truck was edgy for me at the time. I wasn't sure about it. And it worked out. I hated it at times. I loved it for most of the time.
Love talking, no coffee.
But this I'm not sure about. But I like it. I know, I gotta make coffee.
What do you mean?
Why couldn't we just left it? Because now you're going to have to slide that back over and ruin all the powder.
You have to do it regardless.
Why? It's going to sit at one height.
Yeah.
Okay.
This should typically just slide up and down.
But you're using a hammer currently.
It's because it's stuck. Look. It should actually just slide up and down.
Okay.
This is how you adjust your ride height.
I know,
You
but
just
I
take
thought
this.
it was smashed up and down. Like, I tried to move it the other day, and I was like, Did you break the cartridge free?
No, I
Okay.
can though.
I was just curious. I'm kind of curious how it works.
It just unscrews and it's just a slide-in cartridge.
Careful.
You need a
So, technically,
pair of vice grips and a...
there's no gas in that. It's just... in
I'll
that
show you.
Like, a lot of people will never break those free, right? So,
I need a pair of vice grips and a pipe wrench.
So I've never seen this, but we're going to break free the cartridge from the strut so that we have the casing free and we can send it to powder. And that ride height adjustment for the spring, we'll send that to powder too. But we can't powder the cartridge because it's all gas. Oh wait, I'm just a little dry here. You got it?
Yep.
That's it. So if you ever want to powder your struts,
Okay.
that's all you do. Take that out, break that free. Uh-oh. And then you can powder this now and powder this because there's nothing inside of them. Hey, those are empties.
Yeah,
They don't look gold at all, eh?
that's what I'm saying. They're not gold.
But the casing's definitely kind of showing its age. I think it'd look better white. You can't take it right off.
No, because it's.
So what's the benefit of lifting it up?
This is how you
Are we-
adjust your.
So we got to clean that.
Yep.
Is what you're saying. But how does Kevin powder that?
What do you mean?
With it always being on there,
It's.
what does he do? Does he have to move it? Or just not powder a spot?
I think he's probably not going to powder these lines.
That's what I would say is...
See, the problem with that is that when this goes back, because this should slide up and down, no problem. So the problem is he'll only powder from here. Like these will be white, but these won't. It's either that or it'll be
What won't?
these grooves. Yes, this is just meant. So
He
that-
can just leave it like right where it's meant to sit, powder everything else. You know what I mean? And then hopefully it looks good, but I'll powder underneath it. We'll slide it up after, powder underneath it, and then...
See, this should slide up further though.
You think so? Well,
Yeah, and the reason being is
clearly
this.
we have to clean it up, right? It's all corroded in there, so... Just hanging up. Oh, there it goes.
Your last ring,
Yep.
it's not allowing you to go further up to put this, to take this off, to put that up here.
Right. So that's your last adjustment, and that's where it actually needs to adjust to, type thing.
Yeah, because look,
There's a lip in there.
there's your ring. So this ring would have to go on the very, very top ring,
Right.
and that's where it would sit. But you can't get that top ring in.
All right. Well, we'll clean them up. That's cool though. It's out, so that's not hard to break them down at all.
To me, I would paint that black.
I know, but you're very like subtle. Would you have ever done this crepe? This like what's Benadryl looking color? That's like children's Benadryl.
No, that's frills gum.
Frills gum. Gum. Is that like what? Back from the 40s? Frills gum.
Frills gum. That everybody will know that color by frills gum.
Frills gum.
Yep.
Is that
Google it.
so? That's something back from the
Google
era
it.
the car was built or something. Because I don't understand.
Gum.
When I think of frills, I think of no frills.
Well, there
The
was
grocery still. Frills. I think it reminds me like a bubble gum. So in about 10 minutes, Dad broke both those free. So if you're scared of that task, it doesn't seem like it's too crazy. That's for sure. And we're moving on to the front rotors. Now the bearing and seal and everything is built right into this setup because it's an adapter to a 5 lug instead of the original 4. So there's a lot going on. Does the factory rotor have the bearing in it too? That's a factory setup?
No, this is an aftermarket setup,
Okay.
but because these come with drum brake.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a whole kit from CIP1.
Do we have that we can put in there? Socket.
So Dad was saying normally to get this out you would leave it on something, put the bolt on, and then kind of smash it against the nut to get that bearing out. And we don't really have that option in this garage. We don't even really have a vise. We've done pretty well so far, but we don't even really have a vise. Got to be creative on this one. Could we weld something to something?
Maybe.
So that was the seal you were worried about, and it's
Bearing.
mint. Oh, that's juicy. Whatever.
Hey, just take it like this. So you got to dig out all the grease.
So that's an outer bearing?
This is an inner. The little
Right,
one.
that's the inner.
Yeah.
And the little one that just falls out,
It's the outer.
that's the outer. So it's cleaned out right now. All I gotta do is slide a rag through there, pull a rag through there like we did with the other ones.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to know. These shocks are fairly new.
Yeah, I don't think this setup is old at all.
I've been doing good on the cleaning. I just sit here and clean every night. Just to start cleaning stuff.
Okay, this one's ready to go.
That's cool.
So take the nuts out.
Yep. But that's how I lift it right now.
Yeah.
That's cool though. So they can all get done. That's going pink, and then, or whatever it is, and then
Is that Chev?
white. What?
Is that Chev?
5x120 or 130. I believe, like, Dave looked up wheels last night, and he says there is no adapter 5x120. He says it's only 5x130. And I had performance measure the wheels yesterday, and they say 5x120. Back in the box for now, and then they can come out when the time's right. Next week.
I was hoping to do it today.
I know you were, but
Your
body.
You're dawdling.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I need to get the rest of those parts powdered, and
You'll see.
but in the meantime, the body needs a lot of.
That was you were supposed to do during the week.
No, I did a lot during the week. Didn't do that though. New steps, I think. If they fit everything into this little box, that's pretty good. All right, so we've went through all the powdered parts. We stripped a bunch of stuff for powder this week. Got to drop it off on Monday. We're just about to go through all the parts from CIP1, and Dad just moved his car down the driveway because he wants to paint the transmission. We're just gonna rattle can it and get it white. I've cleaned it all up. We'll get it a little bit nicer, but I was gonna help you, but they're not that heavy.
Well, no, you just.
It's not that bad. Well, I gotta tell people, you don't like this.
So I sprayed the whole thing down and kind of cleaned it up a lot. It's not perfect, but cleaned up a lot. And I was going to use the big gun to spray it, but Dad wants to just rattle can it. He says his is just rattle can, so I gave away your secret.
Thanks.
Toothbrush. That's what I use for the calipers. Just gonna clean it up a little bit, cover it in adhesion. You know, I'm having trouble with big words. Adhesion promoter, and some primer filler, and then we're using a Volkswagen color because I own Volkswagens, and I have a can of paint from my old Jetta. It was white, so it'll be an actual Volkswagen white color. So we're just using little wire brushes. This was like 99 cents at Princess Auto, so I picked up a bunch of them, and they've been really handy. And the bigger wire brush and a bunch of brake cleaner to get this all prepped and ready to go for some rattle can love. But
Craigslist rebuild.
yep, Craigslist rebuild. But it turns out I'm a little low on the old brake and parts cleaner, so I need to get more of that, but we'll make it work for now. I wasn't really planning on painting today, so dad just wants to paint this. I think he's just wants to do it.
Gotta get moving.
Yep, he's stressed. I'm not stressed. Got tons of time. What are we gonna do with our spare week?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm already planning, you know, like I'm just gonna sit on the lawn.
If you don't know, now you know. Far enough out. Best way to shake your rattle can. Sawzall. The general idea is there.
This is just primer. I've got to go get the paint actually from inside for you, but this has to dry for a minute. It still changed it pretty white. Like, just the primer is going to allow us to easily coat it in white because it's so bright now, versus the darkness of the gray before, right? Right, Mike? I think it'll work a lot better.
Sure.
My lawnmower is going to be white though. It's just all blown over here. It's alright, it's a Toro.
I was curious if we were waiting on more. These have to be compared.
Yep. So, outer tie rod, left hand.
Yep.
You should have
Outer tie rod, left hand, 2 and 2.
outer tie rod,
One, what's it called?
wheel adapter stud.
Just one sec. I want to make sure we have everything. So,
I know. You have one of these or two of these?
I just got the one because we only needed the one.
Just go through.
Offset wheel adapter. Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Wheel inserts.
Yeah, I just seen them.
That's not even fucking close.
What do you mean? How
Does this give you an idea? Yeah.
That's an issue. That's not going to help us at all.
No. Okay.
So maybe they do fit, and that's the problem.
Maybe.
So the primer settled, and we're out here just coating it, I guess, with the first coat of Volkswagen Jetta. What was it, 2012?
Something like that.
Yeah, 2011, 2012. White. You know, once you sell the car, you still got to use the paint. You can't just let it sit there. So first coat. She's gonna really pop on that black fan, eh?
Yeah.
Yep. So we've decided, since we're sending another batch of little stuff to powder coat and the pan's already going to be basically pretty and perfect, we might as well pull the engine out, pull the tins off the engine, and get a couple things done on there so it kind of matches the rest of what's going on. But we've tucked both these engines right under here. So I got to pull this one out and rig something up so we can at least set it here, because every other stand is kind of in use at the moment. And we don't have an engine stand yet. That's something I have not acquired. Yep.
This could be a little problem. Set that. Okay. Give me.
A lot of these parts can go to powder, right? This can go to powder. This pulley, this tin, this tin, this tin. And I don't think I want to do it pink. What were we saying? White?
White maybe.
White to match the transmission. The tins are in good shape though, eh?
I don't know.
They look like they're in good
'Cause
shape.
remember, they're on backwards.
Yeah, but like physically the metal is in good shape.
Yeah, they're just all bent real
Those,
bad.
like that tin is, that shroud is starting to rust and the tins are all marked up. These are all the remaining parts I kind of missed from the suspension. So I've got like the coil tops, the centerpieces for the coils. This goes over the hole in the tunnel. The disc brake adapters. Sway bar mounts. Well, there's only one. There's the other sway bar mount.
They're wrong bolt.
Transmission mount. Another wrong bolt. Transmission mount. And then all the tie rod ends.
These are all for your tins.
Well, that's what you're pulling them out of, is the tin.
No, they're supposed to be tins.
So anyways, and the crash can for the front of the pan, that can all go to Kevin. There's first tin going in, and that adapter's not going. We're not bringing the adapters. But the adapters are aluminum, and we think we'd probably melt them. So we'll clean them up and spray them. So can I order those tin bolts?
You can order them, but
Do you have tin
I'm
bolts?
sure we'll have 10 mils around.
Well, I'm just saying I would rather them be proper. You're having a stroke over it, so.
All right, we'll have to play with that a little bit.
Is there different ones you can get?
Lift up.
Because I've seen, like, those are different.
You're gonna lift up and alternator everything, so you're just gonna shimmy it.
How do we get the alternator off? Those bolts?
Yep.
But what about this plate?
But undo all these for tens.
And then it'll separate.
Yep. Well, there's 3 and 4.
On the wrong side. Gee.
Well, look how he had to bend it in order to get it.
I don't even understand why they would. It says the number right on it. Just Google it.
Well, 1 and 2 would actually go here.
Are the things? Do you see any dumb?
Well, that's what I'm trying to.
Okay, so we've got most of the tins off the engine now, and the upper fan shroud. That's right here. I'm just taking I took this piece off the alternator, and the alternator's right here. I took the fan off, but what I wanted to do was just kind of remind myself what order these go in. So I've got a big nut, then I've got a bent washer on the outside of this fan. On the back side of this fan is this little guy, a thin washer that goes, well, I guess they're shims, spacers. So it goes on the back side of that. Then oh boy, I'm confused.
What?
Why did that just break into 2 pieces?
Because.
Is it 2 pieces?
Yes.
Oh, it's hollow.
Hello.
Why is it like that? I didn't know that. Okay, so that's 2 pieces. Oh, and there's
There you go.
what is that? So it goes like this.
So where does that go now?
Like that,
See how that goes?
and then like that. Nope. What? On your phone. Why does that not line up?
They will.
No, they don't. You picking up what I'm putting down here? If I put this like this, right, it's lined up. Then I go to put this piece on. These don't line up with that anymore. Do they have to? No?
Look what you're doing.
I am looking at it. I'm confused with this plate. I thought this plate was just 1 piece.
You're not looking close enough.
Yeah, I'm still confused. But
So, take the alternator.
I got it. I got it. All right. So this goes to powder. But what I wanted to do is remind myself. So this goes on after so nut, bent spacer, then a shim behind the fan, then that piece. Then we've got a stack of shims that go on behind that and sit directly on the alternator. So good reminder for myself, I don't want to lose that order because that kicks the fan out to not hit the shroud. So that's good. Reminder, check marked. But we're just breaking down everything to do with the tins and getting everything kind of ready for powder. This is more than I wanted to do, but it just keeps piling up, but that's okay.
Am I getting blamed for this too?
Nope. At least the engine will look good on this beautiful pan. So that box behind Dad is everything going to powder, and we've got a couple more things to add to it, and that's it. Then it's going to be a bunch of grinding. Alright, so something actually very interesting here. This is the main filler tube for the oil, for the engine. And we were like, you know what, we'll pull that off and we'll get it powder coated too. Once we pulled it off, it's very milky on the inside. Dad was quick to put it on his finger and lick it and says it's grease. Tastes like grease, I guess. But if you look on the actual plate where that filler sits, that's water. That's a bead of water within the grease. You'll be able to see the water like roll off here. And that motor's been out of the car, sitting under here for 2 months.
Where's the gasket for the bottom? Look, it's rust.
Why is it so wet?
Don't know.
Like, that's water.
Huh.
What's in the motor?
I don't know.
Did we take a flashlight and dare to look?
Well,
it ran, but why has it got so much water in it? Especially while it's been sitting here forever.
would tell me we better get the oil out of it as soon as possible, because that's been ran. It's a little odd.
It's very odd. It's not sweating sitting in here. You know what I mean? It's always 71 degrees in here, if not warmer. Well, the oil's frothy because of the water.
Yeah.
Right? Normally that says you might have a head gasket gone because coolant is mixing with the oil. In that case, we don't have coolant.
No.
So where is all that water coming from? Why is it in there? This car sat outside for a while at the marina before it came here, right?
It did.
John said it was outside for quite a while. Because nothing good comes easy, man. If it was good, it wouldn't be easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
My theory.
where would it leak from? So let's think about this.
The cap takes 1,000,000 threads to get off. Where is it leaking from? Well, that tube's not on the side of it.
And it's definitely been running with it like that. So which means it's in the oil right now. Yeah. I just don't understand why.
Well,
We gotta pick it up, dump the oil out of it. You got any oil here?
what?
At this point it doesn't really matter, because what I'm gonna do is just pull the plugs and I'll spin it over by hand.
Okay, so we just picked the motor up off the floor, put it up on a bit of a stand here. But we wanted to drain the oil because we found all that water up here. So we took the oil out of it, and the oil smelled very like chemicals. So then we just took the strainer off, because there's a strainer right there. And what did we find?
Well, there's chunks of this.
Chunks of... what is that?
It's
Metal of some sort, eh? Because it's all sticking to the magnet.
yeah.
So that's really not good. That might kill my deadline right there. But the filter, the strainer itself, is covered in this metal gooey liquid and chunks of metal. So my guess is there's probably some metal in the actual oil that we just drained out.
Well, I know there's
But what would that even be?
It might be bearing, but it could be the way that it was assembled. I don't know.
Well, we've been pretty impressed with Guy's work so far, right?
Yeah, that's a way to put it. Impressed.
But yeah, that really doesn't look good.
Not super impressive, right? I guess I could have drained the oil a minute ago and seen all this before, but surprise!
It's definitely metal because you can see it.
So we just opened up the valve cover, and you can see right in here, Dad just swiped his finger through there, and it's all little bits of metal and oil. That's not good.
I don't know.
It looks pretty clean in there otherwise, but
Turns.
kind of turns.
No, this will be under load, but you can see they never
Properly cleaned up where the gasket sits, so that maybe we noticed the valve cover was leaking just a touch. That's why we wanted to investigate, but we're also curious, like, what's going on, why is there metal coming out of the oil strainer? So obvious signs are start open up the valve covers and see what we can see. Oh, wait a sec, pull that back up. The valve cover itself. Look right in the lip. Oh boy. So not one side, but we have two. Not only one, but two. Huh. How's it look in there? It's not as dirty as the other side. Oh, it is. This end? No?
Yep.
A little bit, but not as dirty.
No.
So with these valve covers laying the way they lay, is that not inevitable?
Yeah.
Where it'll end up?
Yeah. I think these are too tight.
Think so?
Oh yeah.
Do you know enough to be saying that?
Yep. They're too tight. But I don't know enough. No. If I did, I certainly wouldn't be working here.
Hey, now, come on. It's for fun.
Do you know anybody that's got rags?
We don't have any rags.
None.
None. It's a tough day for me. Yeah. Tough day. All the rags are filthy. Like, in my opinion, that's where you want to be. There's a little bit of drag. You can hear it. It's not chunky. That's number 6.
Try again.
Yeah, chances are you moved it. No, that's pretty good. I don't mind that. Not a lot of resistance. Now if I were to switch to a 7.
That actually sounds much nicer.
So we've been doing the valve spacing, the valve lash, I guess, as it's called. These are set to 0.006 and 0.007 should be tight. But there is a whole process to doing this. You have to start at 1 and top dead center, and yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff. But we are on number 4 right now. No, 3 going to 4. Yep, it should go in, but with resistance and feel tight. That's what he said. I was talking with the guy in the video. That's a good one.
It's coming up. The number on the piston.
Really? It's that clean?
Look at it. It looks like 90, or it could be 06. Wow. That hasn't been fired at all.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Like since new.
Yeah, since new. Look.
So it's never fired?
Oh, you can. 06. Yeah. So we have we noticed one of the pistons, one of the cylinders isn't firing. Now you guys can't see in there. I wonder if I can crank it up. Oh, I can almost see it. Well, they can definitely see how clean it is in there. But you can't see the writing. But you can see the number on the top of the piston. It's never been firing. Like since new, that this piston here, which is what, number 4? 3, 4?
Yeah, 3, 4. Yeah.
3. So number 3 hasn't been firing since they rebuilt this motor. Which is not great. We're not having a great day. So I guess when we got this car, I recalled it ran pretty good. But and so did Dad, but
I knew it had a bit of a miss, but I didn't think it was a big deal.
no, that looks like a big deal. All right, so it's been a pretty busy day, but we did not really put anything back together. We have pretty much like 3 weeks left to go for this car to be on the road, and we've made everything worse. Today has been a more or less a disassembly day. We took that whole motor apart, the whole top off, to get the shroud powder coated and all the tins powder coated. So the motor is sitting in the corner, just a block and cylinders. Everything else is pretty much stripped off it. I'm going to power wash it, get it all cleaned up. Yeah, and then hopefully powder coat stuff comes back. It leaves Monday. Hopefully it's back by like Wednesday or Thursday, so I can start putting the motor back together. And then the pan has to go back together, and the body has to be prepped and ready for paint basically by that time. So in this next week, I have to get that whole body ready to go, which is going to be difficult because I'm new to body work, but willing to give it a try for sure. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna have to start working on the body, because today we spent most of the day on the engine, and then the memory card actually filled up in the camera, so that kind of sucks. But I didn't want to take the time to go drain the memory card, and I didn't have another one on me right now. My other ones are full. But we took the shifter rod out of the tunnel, because there's a little coupler, a little grommet, let's call it, that goes just behind the shifter, like the physical shifter itself. On the shifting rod, there's like a bushing that wraps around the shifting rod and goes into a little slot that's in the tunnel. It's very tricky to do. If you're going to attempt this, I truly recommend putting that bushing in the tunnel, in that slot first, and then sliding the shift rod through it. That bushing will not seat with the shift rod in it, so you need to put the bushing into the tunnel first, get it seated, then push the shift rod through it. But yeah, we cleaned up the shifter rod, did that all, and painted the transmission. You can actually see that in the background. The whole tranny has been painted like 4 or 5 times now. I've put a bunch on it. It's very white, so that's good. I like that. But now I gotta try and match that to powder. I might just say whatever works. I'll show him this, I'll give him the colors, but this batch of powder stuff is mostly going to be white, minus the rotors. I want the rotors to be that purple. They're calling it purple. Dad calls it purple. I call it pink. Yep. So we took the shifter rod out. We put it back in with that new bushing. We've disassembled the engine, took the exhaust off, took the tins off, the shroud off, all that stuff. Took
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. Hey, love you guys.
took all that stuff. I guess I'm not talking right now, but all right, it's Sunday night, and I'm gonna degrease everything. I don't like that. All right, I'm back out in the shop. It's Sunday night, and I wanted to get all those parts cleaned up and ready for powder. Basically, when you give your parts to the powder place, they degrease them, they sandblast them, they dip them, they do everything they can do to get all the wax and grease off of them before they can coat them, because that way they're basically assuring that they can do the best quality job they can do, and the powder's going to stick as good as it can. So I know it's a pain in the butt every time I bring him stuff and it's covered in grease, so I wanted to at least get all the tins and stuff like that degreased before I bring it to him tomorrow morning. I'm in a real big rush now to get this done, so over the next week I've got to get moving even faster. I'm going to also degrease the engine block outside and get everything kind of cleaned up from the engine block side. That way, when he does bring stuff back from powder, hopefully in a couple days, then it can all go back on. The engine block is gold, but it's all dirty. So let's get it back to gold, right? Get it back to clean looking. And then everything that's being powdered for the engine is going to be either white or purple, and that way it ties into the suspension. I wasn't going to do the engine, but Dad kind of convinced me to, so here we are. So yeah, I cleaned up the garage a little bit earlier, mopped the floor. You have to mop the floor every once in a while, or else it just gets too bad, and then you'll never get it off, right? So got to stay up on the upkeep in here, especially when we're filming all the time. So I don't want it to look gross and blah blah blah. We got parts stacking up everywhere. It already looks like a scrapyard outside, but we got to try and keep it clean. So I mopped today and got it a little bit back to normal, but it is Mother's Day, so I was a little bit preoccupied most of the day. But I think it's like 8 o'clock now in the evening, and the sun is going down, but I'm going to try and capture as much of this as possible. I'm just going to start degreasing. Morning. It's Monday morning. I'm going to take a load down to my powder guy, another load. It feels like a never-ending battle, but take a load down to my powder guy. Second load now. I think we're going to go white on this batch. Mix it up a little bit. But put my gloves on because I got to drive, so I don't want to get all dirty, right? Just common sense. So anyways, going to load everything up in the car again, head down there, drop it off, then I can get back to work. I gotta edit some videos for you guys. Of course too, just as I go to leave, I notice my daily driver has a flat tire. I work on the Beetle constantly, and then the daily driver gets put aside. I gotta spend some time on this soon, I guess. I got to do some sandblasting on the second batch of parts to help speed up the process. All we can do is hope they have some time to get these done in the next few days.